Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. Back to porting the partner p42. I've had a lot of interest in this project. Let's continue today. Today's video, let's address the exhaust port. Now, I said I'm going to put this exhaust port at about somewhere around 98, 99, somewhere in that area. I want this thing to absolutely zing. I do that a lot to the vintage saws. I try to increase the blowdown, and really the best way to do that, other than doing a bunch of machine work, is to actually raise the exhaust port. Now, before I get this all the time, oh, if you raise the exhaust port too high, you won't have any torque. I don't find that's the case on the vintage saws, the reed saws. I find when you raise the exhaust port, fairly aggressively from where it starts stock, you just end up with an animal of a saw. Again, I could be wrong, friends. So today's video, let's raise the exhaust port, and then in the next video, we'll deal with these transfers. So follow along. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, just like always, check for zero. I'll grab 2 bolts. Okay, 1, 2. Don't skip this step. If you've had the top end on and off, I always think it's the best to just check it, because often it'll move, and then you won't have zero anymore. Okay, so let's cinch this down. You can do 4 bolts. You can do 2. Okay, I don't find it really matters if it's 4 bolts or 2 bolts. Now, I took my timing marker off, so I rebolted it to the intake block right here. So here's what I'm going to do, friends. Here, watch this. I'm going to take a screwdriver and let it sit on the top of the piston. Watch. When this thing comes all the way up, right about there. Okay, I'm going to move this over. We're going to call that zeroed. Okay. Just so that it's close. Now I'll put this back in. Wow, is that wind howling outside? Oh well. Okay, and check it. Where are we at? We are at 54, 53. It should be 53 on the other side. It won't be. It's at 61. Okay, so 53 at 61. Okay, so that's 8 degrees, so I need to move it 4. So 53 plus 4 is 57. So right about there. Okay, watch, friends, right here. Okay, we're at 56. I'll just spin it back around. 60. Go to 57 right here. Okay, and I'll spin it back the other way. 58. So we'll go 57 and a half. I went too far. Again, friends, I always show this because 57 and a half helps you guys see how I do it. 58. Okay, we're going to call that zeroed, cinch it down, make sure it didn't move. It is bang on. It's at 58 on both sides, okay? Check it 3 times, and that way you know you're zeroed. Okay, now that we have this undone, I'm going to take this. I'm going to undo those bolts that we put in, okay? I'm going to spin this thing around to bottom dead center, which is 180. Okay. And now I'm going to undo this. I'm going to undo this one. Okay. Take your cylinder off. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this ring that we've been using. Okay. I'm going to insert it in a way that it won't interfere with any of the ports, because I don't want it to get stuck, right? Okay, just like that. Put my bolts back in. Okay, slide this back onto there, not hitting my pointer. Okay, now I'll take this, tighten both of these bolts back up. Right there. Right there. Okay, now what I'll do is I will spin it backwards. Okay, just looking from the back side. Okay, I'm going to spin it backwards till I hit 98 on the pointer here. Okay, I'll move it over a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, see how it's at about 122? There, now you guys can see. I'm going to keep spinning this around till I hit about 99. Okay, that gives me 1 degree to play with. Now I'll undo it. Now all that is, friends, now the bottom of the ring is level with the top of the piston. And that's how I mark my exhaust roofs. There's other ways to do it. I've always done it this way, so if you do it another way that works, that's cool too. Okay, friends? And right there, we can see how high we got to move it up. Okay, I'll get my light in there. See that little lip? Hold on, I'm going to focus you guys on there. Right there, friends. That is the amount, okay? This thing was at like 102, 103, so that's 5 degrees. Okay, 5 degrees, 4 degrees is about 1/8 of an inch on this thing. Remember, it's not linear. I always get people doing that. They're like, you should just measure how many degrees, how much it moves per degree, and then you can grind to that much per degree. And it's like, well, it's not linear as the stroke moves. Okay, now I'll just mark it with a marker, and let's get in and start porting this thing. I'll jump in and out as I get going. Okay, friends, and when you're done, that's what it looks like. So that's about 5 degrees. Okay, it's not that high. So all I'm going to do is go in there with my grinder and blend up to that line. Okay, now I got lots of light shining down on me. I'm just going to go in here and start grinding this. I go real slow at the beginning so I can get through the plating. Okay, I'll show you guys how I start. Okay, I always start this way. Look. Okay, I grind just a little bit so that I'm knocking the plating off without it chipping. There you guys go. Okay, now I'll go in. And before I start changing my exhaust roof height, okay, I'm going to pull that back into the exhaust port. So that it's all blended. I like the shape of this exhaust port. It's pretty flat. So I don't want to do a ton of changing to it. I'm going to keep it pretty flat. Okay, and I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. Okay, do the corners. Okay, now check this out. See how I've pulled it back in there? Now if you look, there's not much line left, so I got to be careful, right? Okay, so now I'll jump back in there and I'll start working up to that line. Now remember, that line is 99. I do that on purpose so that I can sneak up to my timing number. Also, when you bevel the edge, right, when you put that little chamfer so the rings don't catch, that usually is the last degree for me. So, okay. Now there's two ways you can do this, friends. If you're new, try grinding to the line in the center, okay? Put a little notch in there. There, I'll show you guys. So that you're almost at the depth you're going, okay? See that? I've told a couple guys to do this and it actually worked for them. See, so I'm at the height I'm at, okay? See that? Now, blend the right side and blend the left side. I usually do this side first because I find this side I can start in the corner and sweep in. This side I got to start in the middle. Okay? I'll do this in real time for you guys. It doesn't take that long once you've been doing it for a while. Okay, so I'm going to start on this side, start in the middle. Okay, I'm just going to spray this out right now so you guys can see. I don't want too much in there because it'll get rid of my line. I'm just going to pause you while I blow it out. Okay, and here it is. See how I've done the one side? Okay. Sorry, friends, LED light. There you go. See how I've done the one side? Now we'll do the other and then blend it till it's at the final shape, okay? That's the harder side to do. Now I'll go in there. I'll start in the corner here and I'll pull it into the center. Okay, I'm just doing my finishing. It's fairly flat. Just trying to keep the highest part, or lowest, depending on how you're looking at it, in the middle. Okay, and I want it to open at the same point on both sides. I'll take my light here. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it just like that, friends. Check this out. I'll blow it out one more time. Let's start to finish, friends. 6 minutes. Okay. You guys see? See if I can get this thing to focus right on. There you go. See that? The highest part is in the middle, or the lowest, I guess, because we're looking at this upside down. Okay, so it's about like that. Okay, notice right up to the line. So if I put a flashlight through this thing now, it should open at 99. Now before we do that, I'm going to go in here. If you feel what I've cut, it's super sharp. I'm going to go in there with some 600 grit paper and hit the top so that it's not sharp anymore. And then let's check our timing number. Again, I use my thumb, okay, 600 grit in my thumb, and I push hard. I can feel that sharp edge, and then I just break it down this way, okay? Just want to make sure, okay, and I can already feel it's not sharp anymore. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to cut that piston up. Then, before I put it back on the saw, spray it out with some more brake clean, and then hose it off. Okay, and again, put our 2 bolts in our cylinder. Slip the cylinder on. Okay, cinch it down. This is going to be literally shot for shot. I mean, the polishing and that takes a while. I'll do that probably off camera. But the actual grinding doesn't take that long. Okay, and if I'm really fussy, which I am today, put this back in, our timing stop. We know it should stop at 58. Okay. If it stops at 58, bang on. I'm happy, okay? I know if it stops at 58 in either direction, it's zeroed. Okay, now, what I'll do here, friends, I'm going to take my light, shine it in here. Here, I'll spin it around for you guys, so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, shine my light in here, and what I'll do is, I'll turn this thing around until I can see the piston opening. Because remember, this one, we can't do first ray of light. Meaning I look for the light just because the exhaust port's so short. Okay. Right about there is where the exhaust is opening. Now we spin it back around. Where's it at? About 99, friends. Okay. You guys see that? It's just past 100. It's at 99.5. So I'm going to go in there, polish it with a sanding drum probably, because that's usually what I use, a fine sanding drum. I'll go in and just polish that roof. Okay, and that'll raise it about another, 1/4 of a degree, and then I'll bevel it. Okay, and then when I'm done, I'll bring it back and show you guys. We'll time it again and just see where it ends up. I'll hit you guys back in a couple minutes. Okay, first stage of polishing is complete. If you're not sure your numbers, friends, take a piston. Okay. Or if you're not sure of the shape is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Take a piston. Push it so that it's just flush with the bottom. And have a look, friends. How does your port open? Is it symmetrical? Looks pretty good to me. It opens in the middle. I could probably take a little off this one side, but I mean, it's about as good as it's going to get. Okay, you can just do that. I rechecked the timing. It's at 99 now with that little bit of polishing. So again, sneak up on your numbers, friends. It's really easy to go past. Now I'll finish polishing it and we'll have a done exhaust port. Okay, and there you guys go. There's the final finish on the exhaust. You guys can see in here, there you go. You see that ledge? That's the chamfer. I put the ring in here. At the top of the chamfer with the bottom of the ring there, it's at 98. So we're going to call it done. I still got to do a little bit of shining in the corners here, but I won't bore you guys with the details. I don't make them as glossy as some guys do. I just make them nice enough that they're not going to have carbon stick to them, but not so nice that I'm showing it off, if that makes any sense. If you want to make them a mirror polish, by all means do it. It looks good, and there's no harm in doing that. Just make them shiny enough that that carbon won't stick. That's my theory. Other than that, I just leave them. Okay, well, I think we have a finished exhaust roof. Okay, well, there's the exhaust roof. We put it at 98. This thing's going to be an absolute screamer. And I got to clean up my bench now. In the next video, let's figure out what we're doing with these transfers. And by figure out, I mean, let's do them. I'm going to grind these transfers. I'm going to open up the bottoms. I figured out how I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to change the roof angle of the upper transfers. So anyways, thanks for watching. Take her easy, and I'll see you guys in a couple days, and hopefully we'll finish this cylinder. Later.